Have you ever felt like someone was constantly trying to mess with your emotions? Like they were controlling your reactions, twisting reality, and making you doubt yourself? Yeah, when you deal with a narcissist, that's basically how they operate. But there's a turning point, a moment when everything shifts. It's the moment the narcissist realizes that you've figured out the game. And that's when the whole dynamic of the relationship really starts to change. And no, it's not a calm or peaceful change. Today, we're talking about what happens when a narcissist realizes you're no longer falling for their manipulation. Let's get into it. This turning point doesn't happen overnight. It's more like a switch slowly flipping inside the relationship. Up until then, the narcissist was comfortable with a pattern. They'd throw a provocation, make a subtle insult, or use gaslighting, and you would react. Sometimes you tried to explain yourself. Sometimes you defended yourself. Sometimes you just broke down and cried. And to the narcissist, that reaction was fuel, what experts call narcissistic supply. But when you start noticing the pattern, when you begin to analyze it, grow stronger, and realize you're not crazy, there's manipulation happening, your reaction changes. You don't respond the same way anymore. You might stay quiet, you stay calm, or you simply ignore the attempt to provoke you. And that's the moment the narcissist feels like they've lost something valuable. They can't predict you anymore. And narcissists are extremely observant when it comes to behavior. And just to be clear, when I say he, it can absolutely be she. Narcissists exist in every gender. They notice when you're no longer taking the bait. Before, they could throw out a sarcastic comment and you'd feel the need to defend yourself. Now, you take a deep breath and don't even care. Another sign is that gaslighting, that tactic where they twist facts to make you doubt yourself, stops working like it used to. When they say, "You're making this up," or "You're too sensitive," you don't play along anymore. Instead, you stay grounded. You know the problem isn't you, and that makes the narcissist deeply uncomfortable. It's almost like you cracked the code of the game, and now you're no longer running on the mental programming they've always used. Here's the third point, and this is important. Narcissists are like emotional radars. They're constantly scanning the people around them for signs of admiration, respect, or submission. And the moment something changes, they notice. Deep down, despite the mask of superiority, a narcissist's self-esteem is incredibly fragile. So any shift in your behavior feels like a threat. If before you validated everything they said, and now you respond with neutrality or indifference, they definitely notice. They become more alert, more watchful. They start testing boundaries, watching your words, analyzing your gestures. It's like they're trying to figure out if you've truly seen who they really are. Because at its core, a relationship with a narcissist is a power struggle. They need to feel in control. They need to control the narrative, your emotions, and keep you feeling insecure. And when they sense that control slipping, the reaction is immediate. Rage. And that rage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent, passive-aggressive. They might punish you with silence, withdraw affection on purpose, or even try to damage your reputation with others. This is known as narcissistic rage. In other cases, it shows up more openly: heated arguments, angry outbursts, false accusations. But underneath it all, it's the same thing: a desperate attempt to regain control. Now this is the most important part. Even though the narcissist's reaction can be negative and even scary, the fact that you've reached this point is a huge victory. It means you no longer personalize the abuse. You understand that their behavior says more about them than it does about you, and that realization is a turning point for your mental health. When you stop absorbing the manipulation and the guilt, you start rebuilding your self-esteem. And yes, the path isn't always easy. Sometimes it means cutting ties, setting firm boundaries, or even seeking professional support. But the long-term reward is priceless: emotional freedom, mental clarity, and most importantly, reconnecting with who you really are.
So, what happens when a narcissist realizes you figured them out? They go on high alert. They increase surveillance. They try everything to regain control, and they may react with rage. But for you, this is the beginning of a new chapter. Because when you understand the game, you stop being a piece in it, and you become the player of your own life. And here's the final message. Don't blame yourself for falling for the manipulation. Narcissists are experts at creating illusions, and anyone can be deceived. What matters is that now you can see clearly, and that awareness is your greatest weapon. Remember, freedom begins the moment you see reality for what it is and choose not to stay trapped in a cycle of abuse. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.